What is going on, guys? Hope everyone is doing well. I want to show you guys a 34-4 gameplay I had on Rush, playing on the Devastation map. So if you guys are unaware, Rush has returned for a short amount of time on the battlefield. It's going to be here till March 20th. And it's a nice little different pace you can have if you're looking forward to more of those smaller battles. So it's, again, that 16 versus 16 instead of the classic really 32 versus 32 battles you mainly experience on modes like Breakthrough and Conquest. So it's nice to take a little bit of a break from that. I had a pretty solid game using the M1922 again. I just popped on for it for just this one game, and I had a pretty beastly game just using it. I'm still not sure if it's the gun or if it's the players I'm playing against. But regardless, it was a pretty cool game that I had here. But overall, good to see Rush back. Good to have a little bit of a different pace. Again, it's going to be here till March 20th. Not sure how long, or if it, will return again after that. I think DICE is just kind of teasing us with it and seeing if we like it enough, and maybe it'll return again. But I kind of like how they are keeping it just for a limited amount of time and then removing it out of the playlist, because it really gives it that moment to us really focus onto it rather than it just being another game mode in the playlist to oversaturate the playlist with more game modes that I'm not sure if I would always play unless they were here for a short amount of time. So that's kind of how I see it. Feel free to let me know what you guys think about that. I know Rush is a really kind of iconic game for Battlefield, so to see it kind of not be there anymore, I think is a little bit interesting. But overall, good to see it back and play it for a little bit. You guys gonna see a pretty crazy moment right here. Guy's gonna run right by me. I'm gonna shoot him, and then like his two teammates are gonna run over. I'm gonna realize, oh, there's a dead body over here. I'm gonna take them both out. And then I take out the other guy right there, and this is, I don't even know anymore. I don't even know about this weapon, but that's just how it was going for me. Just posted up here on the side. I kept moving just a little bit more and more. As every time I would kill them, I would just adjust just enough so they couldn't really gauge exactly where I was going to be at, and just kept throwing them off. But this is actually a really good spot if you want to post up here on the defending side if you're playing on Devastation, because it seemed to pretty much work pretty well for me. Again, you just want to keep moving, because if you just stay put, obviously people are just going to run up to you and kill you. But right now, Rush only has 3 maps on it, which I would imagine is just because it's only going to be here for a short amount of time, and I'm guessing developers didn't want to completely invest everything they had with the resources into this game mode if they're not even sure people are even going to want to play it anymore. So I kind of like that approach again, that they're just kind of playing with it a little bit. Ideally, we would probably want all the maps on there, and if in a perfect world, if that was possible, it would be great. But personally, for me, I like how they're putting the resources on hopefully more maps, because I would like to be seeing hopefully more than just one new map that's going to come out for this month. It would be really cool to hopefully see 2, and if we don't see a second one come out for this month, it would be really nice to see it hopefully come out at the very start of April at least. So that's what I'm really more looking forward to, is mainly more maps. That's kind of like my big thing, rather than the seem like more different like game modes in the playlist for us to try out. But still shredding out over here. Man, I was so like preoccupied over here that they actually are able to kind of sneak up into the actual territory that we own, and they're actually able to arm the stations here and actually cap both of them. I was actually kind of surprised about that. I was moving around so much. I thought I was slaying so well that somehow they were still able to get behind us and actually explode both of these areas and push up from there. Now, of course, we do have the new squad reinforcement called the Sector Artillery, and you're able to call that in the game mode Rush, but the points are pretty high up for the game of Rush, so I'm actually having kind of a hard time actually getting anything more than 1. I think this game I'm able to get at the very last second. It's about, I think, 1,700 and 750 points. So I've heard some people talk about that maybe DICE should lower the point count for Rush, and I think that'd actually be a good call. It would be actually nice to see it cut in half, so there's a possibility to get 2 of them. I know some people are calling it a little bit OP, but man, I'll tell you what, the Sector Artillery is pretty fun to call in, and it's not always a guaranteed kill. It's not like the V1 Rocket here, and there's plenty of games in like Breakthrough where you're able to call in the V1 Rocket like 2 times in one game. I can do that almost consistently if I have a good squad. So it would be nice to see the Sector Artillery be a little bit more used than just one time. Call it in maybe twice in the game, so cut the points down to maybe somewhere between like 800 points, and then make the smoke barrage be less too, because it would be nice to call in the smoke barrage at least once in the game. But yeah, I think cutting them down a little bit just for rush would be good. You don't have to change them up for the regular other modes like Conquest and Breakthrough, because that 1,700 or 1,800 points is plenty enough for you to call them in at least once or twice if you have a good squad. So I'm trying to stop them from pushing around this turn over here, and then I catch a glimpse of a guy just right there on the right side, and then I'm not sure if he still sees me, but I can see him creeping around, so I was like, you know, I'm going to flank around out of bounds, see if he's still looking at the direction I was just at, and he actually is, so we come up behind him, take him out, and to get myself posted back up again, and watch this turn that seems to be kind of the vacant spot where none of my teammates are focused on. So that was a pretty good strat right there. That worked out pretty well. But overall, having a good time playing with Rush again, and would be looking forward to hopefully seeing maybe DICE do a quick patch for maybe the points for the squad reinforcements for Rush and make them where they're a little bit more usable and we're actually able to achieve them a little bit more than maybe like the one rare time you can get it. So that would be pretty cool. At least lower down the smoke barrage, because I would like to call them smoke barrages as much as I can, because it's been a while since I've been able to throw it on smoke. I can only use it again if you're in the medic class, and when you played a lot of BF1, you could equip it anywhere, and I always would throw down smoke all the time. So having to adapt a lot of my gameplay where I can't throw smoke unless I'm using the medic class has been a little bit of a pain. And even though I'd still have to, you know, use some of my points to call on the smoke barrage, man, that smoke barrage, it gives you some cover, and I'll tell you what, that's something that I could see myself using a lot on the battlefield. I've heard some people talk about using it on VL652, where especially when you're on Breakthrough on those first sectors and you have all that open space right there, I mean, you can throw that thing all the way down and give your whole teammates a bunch of cover. So I think that would be really effective on the battlefield. I'm kind of looking forward to getting the spot where I can actually use that in VL652. But I'm going to cut over here to the end. I want to call in that artillery strike, and again, I got to show you guys that. I'm not getting the highest kills as of yet. I've been trying a little bit more on the larger game modes like Breakthrough, and I've been getting there, but it would be nice to see something really crazy, get a bunch of the enemy players all stacked up in one spot and see what the damage I could do doing that. But overall, having a good time again. Feel free to let me know you guys' thoughts down below about the new squad reinforcements and how you guys are feeling about having Rush back for a limited amount of time. But that is it for you guys today. Always appreciate you guys being here. I am Livin', and I'll catch you guys again later.